Hi, my name is Ash. Welcome if you're new to my channel or if you're a returning viewer. Either way, I'm so glad that you found me. And if you are new to my channel or haven't yet subscribed, I really hope that you're gonna love this video and decide to stick around, subscribe to my channel so that you will be able to see all the great videos that I'm planning to post for you guys in the future. So to those of you who haven't been following along with me to this point, I am a mom of two, currently pregnant with baby number 3. And this video is going to be my mid-pregnancy update. Now for each of my pregnancy updates, which I haven't posted an update in a while, I posted a few right in the beginning of my pregnancy, which I will definitely link in the description box and maybe put a little link in the cards up there as well. But for each of those videos, I've answered the same questions so that anyone who's following along can see how things change over time. Now I haven't posted an update in a while because honestly, I was getting a little bored with the updates just because it felt like in the beginning, nothing was changing week to week. And it just felt like, you know, I wasn't feeling so jazzed to host the updates when it's like, okay, same as last week, same as last week, same as last week to all the questions. But now it seems like so much has changed, so much is different. I am, like I said, right in the middle of my pregnancy. I'm actually in week 25, I believe. I had to look that up earlier because I was almost not sure if it was 25 or 26, which I know sounds crazy. To me, if I was a first-time mom watching this video, I'd be like, how do you not know what week you're in? Because I remember knowing, you know, and thinking constantly about what week I was in. But at this point, it just feels like it's flying by so fast. I know that last week, the baby was the size of a cauliflower, and this week, the baby is the size of a bunch of kale, which I'm guessing they mean length, because it said something like the baby is 14 inches long. And obviously, weight-wise, the baby is not weighing that much. I think maybe less than 2 pounds, something like that. And so my impression is that at this part of the pregnancy, the baby is growing a lot lengthwise, like the bone structure. And then the baby puts on a lot of weight kind of more towards the end into the 3rd trimester. But anyway, let me jump into answering these questions for you. The first question is, am I in maternity clothes? I think in my last update, I said, no, I'm not. Well, here I am wearing a maternity top. So yes, I'm sort of in maternity clothes. I say sort of because I only actually have a few pieces, and I do think I actually desperately need to add a few more pieces to my wardrobe very soon. But I'm pretty much at this point just getting by with like stretchy leggings and long tanks that can kind of go under a shirt and extend it, because my shirts are definitely not giving me the coverage that I would want on my belly anymore. But with a long tank, I can wear my regular shirt and still have full coverage. So I'm getting by, but I am needing more maternity things, definitely. How am I sleeping? Terribly. Terribly is how I'm sleeping. I mentioned in previous videos that I was suffering from a lot of insomnia, and that has still been something of an issue, but the bigger issue is something that happened actually last night, which is something I remember having experienced in pregnancy before and then hadn't really had a problem with up until this point, but it's leg cramps. Last night I had, I think, the worst leg cramp of my life. It was so bad that it was the kind of cramp, I've never been totally certain if this is what you call a Charlie horse, but it's the kind where your whole calf locks up and it's like your toe is stuck pointing and you have to force it up towards the ceiling to get your leg to release. And it was just so incredibly painful that after it happened, I mean, it basically ruined my whole night's sleep. So I'm hoping that was maybe the terrible leg cramp, not just like the beginning of a series of horrible leg cramps. I don't know. While we're on the subject of like other, you know, I guess complaints, I will say, and this has nothing to do with how I'm sleeping, but I'm just popping it in here because, you know, I'm complaining about leg cramps. Let me tell you about my other pregnancy complaints at this point, because I think I forgot to mention this in previous videos, even though this is not a new problem. I've had the driest skin this winter, and of course it is winter, so some of that dryness is probably just, you know, it's winter. But I definitely remember having the same kind of dryness in my second pregnancy. Moving on from leg cramps, which was definitely a low point, what have been the best moments so far, or since my last update? And I would say absolutely the best was when we had our ultrasound, because we got to find out, you know, whether we're having a boy or a girl, which if you haven't already watched the reveal video that we did, I will definitely put a link to that down, you know, in the description box and up in the cards. You should definitely check that out because it came out really cute, and we were just overjoyed to get a little more information about, you know, who we have growing in there. So that was obviously a high point. And the other high point, which is not an individual moment, but just my favorite thing about being pregnant at this point in time in general, is just feeling the baby move and kick. The stronger the baby gets, the more the baby moves around, and the kicking and swishing. That is probably one of my favorite things, not just about pregnancy, but just, you know, of life ever. I feel like in the beginning of the pregnancy also, I have so much anxiety, and there's no way to check on the baby and see how the baby's doing. But I love having that reassurance of just feeling the baby moving in there and knowing, like, okay, you're in there, you're doing it, you know. It's like a good sign that things are going along as they should be. And also it's just amazing. Like, I still can't believe hardly that there's a person living in me. Even though this is the third time I've done this, it still just amazes me. Am I missing anything? I will say that I've started to miss red wine a little bit. I think also because it's the winter right now and it's cold, and it's that kind of season where it seems like it would be nice to really like snuggle up on the couch with a glass of wine. So I'm starting to miss that a little bit and thinking about, you know, after the baby comes out, it'll be really exciting to celebrate. Cravings, well, see above the, you know, red wine, haha. But other than that, I would say I've really been into chocolate, like dark, like 90% or more dark chocolate. Really liking that right now. And I've been thinking about ice cream a lot. I haven't actually eaten any ice cream because I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, and I also try to be kind of careful about my sugar intake, but I've been thinking about ice cream a lot. Oh, and bagels. And that's another thing that I try not to eat a lot of just really simple carbs. I try to really stick with like whole wheat flour and brown rice and things like that for my carb intake. And I cannot stop thinking about how much I want bagels. And I would definitely say it's a craving in the sense that I think that my desire for the bagels is stronger than just me kind of being like, oh, those would be good. It's like, I almost want to cry because I like want them so badly. Is the baby a boy or a girl? That is a question I'm not going to answer in this update because, like I mentioned before, we have a really, really cute reveal video that if you've already seen, you know the answer to that question. And if you haven't seen, I really want you to check it out because I am so proud of how that video turned out. It was just so cute and fun to make. And then my mood. What has my mood been like? I would say it's been fluctuating up and down. On the one hand, I think I'm like so excited and so happy about what's happening. On the other hand, I've been really anxious just thinking about all the things that I need to do, and we have a lot going on in my family right now. I'm not gonna do like a general life update, but there's a lot going on. So there's a lot to think about, a lot of good things going on, exciting things for the future, but there's just like a lot of loose ends at this point. It just feels like there's a lot happening, and I'm really starting to want to nest and get things for the baby. I'm really anxious to actually like set up a crib and do a little bit of decorating and pack my hospital bag and all of those things that are coming up soon, but we're just not quite ready to do yet. And emotional. That's the other thing. I've been so emotional. It's kind of crazy how emotional I've been. Like, I always think of myself as being an emotional person in that I think I feel things very deeply, but I don't think of myself as a weepy person. Like, I feel strongly and I get very upset about things, but I don't really cry normally. And I have like cried, like not just like tears, but just like serious, like I am devastated cried probably more than half a dozen times in the last couple months. Like it's like and it's not about trivial things, it's things that are legitimately upsetting. It's just that they're things that I normally wouldn't actually cry about. I would just kind of be upset but not be sobbing, and instead I'm like really crying because I'm just devastated and it's coming out. So yeah, I think I've been way more emotional, and that's something I don't remember. I'll have to ask my husband and see if I can get an honest answer out of him, but I don't remember feeling quite as emotionally hormonally affected in my previous pregnancies. So that's something that I think might be new and different this time. And then I think this is the last question, which is, what am I looking forward to the most? And I sort of already answered that. I'm looking forward to just getting things set up for the baby. I've already kind of picked a crib. I've already started looking at bedding. I know what mattress we want to get for the crib. Things like that. I want to get the bassinet put together. All of that. I'm really looking forward to feeling like we're ready for the arrival, instead of just in my mind I know what I want to do, but I haven't actually done those things yet. And I have good reasons why it hasn't been quite time to really get set up yet, but I still feel like I'm really anxious to do that. I'm really looking forward to and excited about, you know, the different ideas that I have for what I want to do, you know, setting up for the baby wise. I've also been thinking a little bit about how to get my kids excited, how to introduce them to the baby, and how to kind of make it a nice, smooth transition for them. So that is my mid-pregnancy update. If there was anything that I didn't talk about that you were wondering about as far as my mid-pregnancy, or just, you know, in general, like how it feels to be kind of at the middle of the pregnancy or whatever, any questions that you have, definitely like leave me a comment below. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. If you were here just to see how I'm doing, thank you for checking in, and I hope that, you know, this was interesting for you. If you're here because you're pregnant like me and following along on my journey, or thinking about a future time when you'll be pregnant, I hope this was helpful and interesting for you as well. And I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel so that you can follow along this journey with me, because I have more pregnancy content as well as other types of content that I do coming up in the future. All right, I will talk to you soon.